misunderstandings between your mom and your dad, between culture? Was language a little mixed up?
Now, well, Japanese was my first language.
Right.
So that question is, and again, it's a little confusing because I've only known as a kid, you only know what your environment is.
Right.
So the Okinawan culture was there as part of me and my family and stuff like that. I thought I knew the American culture. I don't think I really understood the American. I know I didn't because I didn't realize the true American culture until I moved to the United States. I always thought I had this concept of American culture because my father's American, but living in Okinawa, especially with my mom's side of the family, it was always I was always around my grandparents, my cousins, and stuff like that. So I was surrounded by that. You know what I mean? And it always felt a little bit different because I was half. But my vision, my thought, I guess, back if I'm thinking about, my interpretation of American culture is what I saw on TV.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like that. So, when I came here, it was obviously a big culture shock to me. You know, and that's why I went through. And that's another story. I went through a lot of depression and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, coming here can definitely be a big shock from, I guess, coming from Okinawa.
Well, yeah, because and if I'm getting off topic, just
Hey,
pull me back in. But I
don't
mean,
worry.
and again, Okinawa is a small island. Everybody understands, knows, but you know, my family's over there. I grew up with my grandparents, my cousins were running around, and my grandfather was living in Agena village, right? So that's who I knew who family was. When I came to this country, in it was in between junior high and high school.
Right.
So, my personality, who I was, is already developed.
Right.
And now I come to this country right before high school starts, and I meet these strange white people. I shouldn't say white because I'm half white, but white people, American people.
Right.
And now my parents or my father's saying, "Oh, these are your grandparents." Well, to me, they're strangers. I didn't know them, so I went through a big depression. I withdrawed. I stopped eating to the point that they actually had to send me to the hospital and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. Everything was so big over here and stuff
Right.
like. So that's what I'm saying. So what I thought of American culture, and I thought I was, you know, I knew it. I didn't know anything. It was a big culture shock. As far as that goes.
So,
And the only thing, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
the only
sorry.
thing that kept me sane, is that the right word? Like kept me
Sure.
on the right, was constantly going to the dojo, train, because that's the only place that I knew what was home. So even coming to this country, the only place I felt like I was back in Okinawa again or home was in the dojo. So because going back, that's my whole family's life.
Right.
Um, the Okinawan family's life.
That's, that's a lot of what we talk about in the podcast too. Is like people find their like mental, they can release and kind of go to a dojo to kind of get away from the stresses of life. But even for you, it was almost like going back home.
It is definitely going back. It wasn't as far as. Yeah, it was. It wasn't as. Yeah, it's definitely going back. To me, it was like going back to Okinawa every night. I go to the dojo. I spend a lot of hours in there.
Right.
So yeah, so I would just immaturely just think, I'm in the middle of Okinawa again at a dojo that I could, you know what I mean? It just felt like that, you know what I mean? So it was a stress reliever for that, like
Right.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Was that when you came at that time, and I guess as you've grown up and kind of seen the changes over time, what did you notice that was most different between the Okinawan dojos and the dojos over here?
What did I notice the difference between Okinawan dojos and the dojos in America here? Um,
Yeah. I mean, other than demographics. Right?
Yeah. Obviously, the teaching um, it's kind of funny because I didn't realize that karate could be taught in English. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like to me, I guess that was kind of funny sounding at first. You know what I mean? Like, um, you have people count, even something as simple as counting. You know what I
Right.
mean? Calling a soto uke a middle block. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or a front kick a maigeri. You know what I mean? Too. I guess that's a big. To me, I felt a little bit funny stances, the terminology. Um, so I felt that was kind of weird. Belt ranking. The way it was so commercialized
Right.
was very strange to me. Um, and yeah, it's definitely different. It's just more commercialized. It wasn't, I couldn't believe how much money there people were charging and this and that. It was just, to me,
Right.
it was kind of crazy as far as that goes.